the quarterback's going to be until Sunday morning?
I've been thinking about,
The old game time decision.
here's what I was actually toying with. My hunting dog, Clarabelle, 4.5-pound Yorkie poo. I'm thinking about putting 3 balls with numbers on it, throwing it out in the backyard, and whatever she comes back with, it's instinct, man. She's got great instinct.
Coach, you mentioned number 6 for CU, Paul Richardson.
Yeah, that guy's fast.
He's fast. I know
That guy's really fast.
maybe your
That
fastest.
guy's faster than any guy we had at Alabama, I guarantee you that. That guy is fast.
Maybe your fastest cornerback, Bernard Blake, is enlisted as number 1 or 2. How do you guys keep up with him?
Well, we better know where the guy is, but he runs fast enough at times where maybe you don't see the guy. I'm worried. I'm worried about. You want to know some concerns? I mean, they got Pac-12 players. John had recruited guys that are good players. Okay, they're bringing in good players. All right. You could ask certain people. They got better players than we got. I mean, they're in the Pac-12. Okay. One of those things might be, speed, right? Explosive ability to finish plays. Okay, that's part of what you do when you go up in a game. I like our guys. I like them. So we've got to go out and play the game, and that's really what it's all about. And as I tell them, it has nothing to do with them. It has all to do with us and how we take care of business.
Richardson does add a different dynamic to the
Really
game
fast.
last year.
That guy's really fast.
Can you compare
Was
him
I
at
glad
all?
he wasn't there? I felt
I know.
bad. I did.
You explained that last year pretty good.
And I don't, you hate to see that happen to anybody.
Right.
I wish it was a longer recovery phase, that maybe he was coming back week 2.
That said, how does he change the dynamic to how you look at them offensively? And 2, does he compare to anybody that you faced last year, like a Devontae Adams or Fresno,
Yeah.
anybody like that?
I would say that really the Fresno analogy from a true speed, and you know what, San Jose had a couple guys that could go last year too now. And Utah State had, there were some guys that could flat run, and those are the things, when you haven't quite maybe, one of the things we lacked was not only size, but we weren't very fast. Not a great combination. So what you got to do to make sure that those guys don't control the game is really, I think, a key to defensively where we're at.
So you did announce Connor Wood as your starting quarterback. What do you know about him, and what strikes you about him?
I like the guy's delivery. I mean, we watched a little bit, from the spring game that you get on TV. I mean, what do you get out of it, right?
Right.
You get bad-looking uniforms and guys playing. But the one thing the guy does is get his feet set. He can deliver the ball. I think he's accurate, and he's got a threat out there too.
How much more confident are you in your secondary this year, though, given that they're going to be tested, obviously, but than you were at this time a year ago when they were all redshirt freshmen for the most part?
I think they are more confident in their communication, which then allows you maybe to, work a little bait and switch here and there, from coverage looks, and not just showing your hand from the get-go. Now their hurry-up stuff that they're doing, forces you into some base things, but then your experience back there may allow you to get in and out of some things too. So.
Because you don't necessarily have any more speed back there than you had last year, because it's mostly the same guys.
Keep them corralled. That's what you do in Montana. You keep them corralled.
Right. I mean, how do you compensate for that?
Through probably some disguise and some kicks and some things like that. When you go into first games, first and foremost, it's turnovers. It's the mistakes that happen in the special teams, and it's explosive plays, either eliminating them or getting them. And those are the things that you really got to be prepared for.
Jim, you talked about, the preseason press conference about the importance of the CSU rivalry. Can you elaborate on why is it important to the teams and the state and the fans?
Well, I think first and foremost, these are the two state universities, number one. I've been involved in, when we were in Louisville playing Kentucky, was in the SEC. We at the time were in Conference USA. They're now in the ACC, and they've, put that matchup together. You see those great rivalries, even Iowa State teams that are in different leagues, but it means something to the people in the state. Okay, and at the end of the day, we're Colorado State University. They're, University of Colorado, right? So the two teams, that means something to a lot of people living that got their degrees from there, that played. It's about that in-state rivalry, and I think it's just something that makes college football something special. And for both teams to have this on a stage like we play, I think it helps the high school football in the state. I think it helps, just the recognition when you're in a state that has all the major pro sports, which is awesome. It's a great sell, and it's something not every state in the country has, right? But at the same time, we've got two very, very good universities, and putting those guys together and playing on a Saturday or a Sunday, whatever day it is, I think it's something that's pretty special to the sport.
How fast did it take you to buy into that rivalry? Obviously, it was your first game last year. Did you feel it as much last year as you can this year?
Well, rivalries are something when you're in this profession, doesn't matter where you're at. You want to talk about a rivalry, they talk about that Iron Bowl, at Alabama and Auburn, but that Montana State-Montana rivalry, when I coached at Montana State, and there was only 800,000 people in the whole state, maybe a little bit more now, but there's 450 on both sides of the fence come that week, and man, that's awesome. Okay, and then as we've gone to different places, the rivalry is tangible. The rivalry you can taste, and I think it's pretty cool.
Do you feel the fact that you won last year's game will give your team confidence this year?
Oh, I don't know that it, I don't know that it would give them any more confidence one way or the other. I think maybe the fact that we can, right, might maybe come across a little bit. But, one thing I learned from where I was at, doesn't matter what you did a year ago, that was a different team. That was a different team. Doesn't matter how many games you won, doesn't matter how many games you lost. That's a totally different team. This year is a totally different scenario. It's a different team. It's a different team we're playing. The field's the same. The day is different. But it only matters about what happens on each individual play. And that's where the outcome is.
Just did kind of a quick glance on this. You've got about 13